convinced that we will destroy, unfortunately, a lot of employment. Just think of self-guided cars and all the drivers losing their jobs. Let's look at the bank employees and so on.
If you're left behind, you're facing something far worse, which is to be completely irrelevant. They won't even need you as a serf or as a slave.
We need regulatory coordination. It's a wide spectrum of products. There's some securities, there's some commodities, there are a lot of banking products. We need a wide spectrum. So how do we go forward? You're right. Get all those people in a room and let's do something that we can achieve. I think there's widespread consensus. We can achieve rules around stablecoins, essentially tokenizing what are known as today as bank transfers and the like, and bringing the efficiency of tokenization to that very safe space. No leverage. Rules around the fact that you have to have backing or regulated banking supervision. It's a pretty easy lift. The presidential working group started on this. They need to go forward. We also need to know how to custody digital assets so people can feel safe in the event, look, we talked about what happens in an insolvency. We need to address those issues. That is low-hanging fruit. If we start there, we will have improvement.
Currencies might be considered securities, according to new regulatory filings with the SEC. Grayscale Investments disclosed in regulatory filings that the SEC has been asking about its securities law analysis of crypto tokens Zcash, Horizon, and Stellar held in its investment trust. The agency suggesting that these cryptocurrencies might be securities under federal law. Now, Grayscale, which offers trusts containing crypto through funds on traditional stock exchanges as an easy way to invest in crypto, did not immediately respond for comment. Now, this coming after the SEC in July declared nine crypto assets listed in a crypto insider trading case as securities, and as the SEC has been looking to define its oversight of cryptocurrencies through enforcement actions. Experts say Stellar, which is similar to Ripple, is close to 2 years into a legal battle with the SEC over whether the token is a security. Now, SEC Chair Gary Gensler wrote in an op-ed in the Wall Street Journal on August 19th, quote, "There's no reason to treat the crypto market differently from the rest of capital markets just because it uses a different technology." Gensler has repeatedly said that many crypto tokens fall under securities laws, given how they're used, and that most tokens other than Bitcoin, or perhaps Ethereum, I should say, should register as securities. Yet there's still no formal rule process in place for how to govern crypto. Gensler and the SEC have repeatedly asked crypto players to come in proactively and register with the commission. As well, they have been regulating through enforcement actions for parties they feel are not in compliance. So an ongoing theme here.
Welcome to the Crypto Teacher. And I come back with that video just to make you think. And yes, that is Jake Clayton saying that we need regulation. When he was in office, he could have easily did regulation. That's the reason why he left abruptly. And Gary Gensler, the NWO chess piece, comes in his place so he can keep kicking this regulation can down the road. Now, we know Grayscale has worked with the SEC. That's how Grayscale Bitcoin Trust came about. And the SEC goes after Grayscale on the same tokens that are listed on Coinbase, which is a publicly traded company. So we clearly see the SEC stalling to bring in crypto regulation because they know the regulation is going to be global. Now, we have the Ethereum merge coming up, and on that day, things are going to be very volatile. And remember, the Crypto Teacher told you. And we have spaceports popping around the United States. And guys, we know this is biblical. And I'll be doing a Patreon video on this. But guys, we know there's no reason to be launching rockets all over the United States and spending that type of money unless you know the drums are beating. And the Crypto Teacher wrote about it a long time ago because he knows when it comes to the New World Order, it's all planned out. You have a wonderful day.
To happen around the merge, what kind of volume will there be? Will there be a sort of sell the news event?
Well, we're definitely seeing a wide range of speculative bets and positioning and hedging that are being put on, particularly in the derivatives market and in the options market. Ethereum open interest is reaching highs. We're seeing a lot of volume through our OTC desk on Ethereum. And so I think investors are gearing up for something to happen. I think if you look at the volatility surface or the term structure, the September 16th term, which is the one that's kind of pricing in at least a couple of the merge events, is about 10 points over the September 9th term. And so I think investors are gearing up for some sort of price action and some sort of move for sure.
What about Kraken? How's Kraken handling the merge? Are you going to halt trading of Ether, for example?
We won't halt trading, nope. So customers can still trade Ether. It'll be available. They can trade it OTC. All the trading services will be available. There might be temporary suspension on withdrawals and deposits, just at the blockchain level, but trading will still be available.
Commercial spaceports similar to airports, but for rocket launches. There are more than a dozen of them across the country. They allow private companies to launch rockets without waiting to use a government launch site. But it turns out not everyone's on board. Here's NBC's Aaron Gilchrist.
As the Artemis moon rocket prepares to blast off from Cape Canaveral, space industry experts say one thing is clear about the country's flagship Kennedy Space Center.
They are operating close at capacity. You got to go get in line to be able to launch down there.
To skip the line waiting for government launch sites, aerospace businesses can turn to commercial spaceports. Rocket launch sites built with public money to help private companies sail beyond the heavens.
The Commonwealth of Virginia has committed hundreds of millions of dollars to this spaceport.
Retired Air Force Major General Ted Mercer runs the Virginia Commercial Spaceflight Authority, a state agency created in 1995 tasked with capitalizing on the new space race. At NASA's Wallops Island Flight Facility, Virginia Space operates its Mid-Atlantic Regional Spaceport, or MARS. And so part of the idea in building this facility was that a customer can come in and everything they need is already here.
That's right. For the ground infrastructure. So they bring their rocket, they bring their payload, and then we take care of the rest to get it off the ground.
This spaceport is one of 14 licensed by the FAA across the country. And like its peers, today it's rarely launching rockets.
We expect our launch, a conservative launch operations tempo, to be up to 104 launches just over the next 10 years.
Is your thinking that the demand will increase that significantly over the next 10 years?
Absolutely. All the data and the customers that are reaching out to us make it clear that it is growing.
Mercer says the Mars success isn't just measured in launches and revenue. Virginia now views it like an infrastructure project that supports regional economic growth.
I do see an opportunity where we will become profitable. That will be a slow process because space lift is an expensive business.
But spaceports haven't been welcome everywhere. Residents in Camden County, Georgia, cite environmental concerns in their fight to stop a commercial spaceport the county has already spent millions on. Meanwhile, more spaceports are being proposed around the country, despite the high costs and low demand. And without a tangible return on investment, taxpayers are left asking,
what are we going to get out of it?
Space analyst Phil Smith urges caution on building more launch infrastructure.
It's not hundreds and hundreds of launches, and that probably won't come to pass for a while. One could argue we probably have more space.
We're going to a different economy, and we're going to be learning more about that as we go. But clearly, we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
This effort, and China has big plans for this. They intend to seed their digital yuan into the global environment by giving it away to visitors at next winter's Olympics. When they arrive at the airport, they're going to get yuan digital wallets. They're going to receive digital yuan. They're going to use it throughout their visits to Beijing, and then they're going to take it back to their home countries. They see this as a huge advantage. Why? Because who controls the underlying protocols, who controls the underlying standards of the future of money will control the future of money.
Most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come. Steve Jobs. And guys, you know I truly believe in this. When you look at the New World Order, they're the storytellers. And that's the reason why I wrote my New World Order book. But guys, now it's time to change the current generation. And I wrote 3 kids' books. You know, I love the Trinity because I understand the power that's in it. So I have 3 books. We have an opportunity to change the generation, to educate, not just me, but I want to show you that I take action on a daily basis. And I want you to take action on a daily basis. Whether it's your job, whether it's in your community, we have an opportunity right now to educate the masses. I posted this on my Twitter account. Please share, but this is a short clip of the 3 books. There's going to be a clothing line and action figures. Please get these books for your kids, nephews, cousins, friends, so therefore we can start the re-education now. Because as we see, the 4th Industrial Revolution foundation is definitely here. Robots, algorithms, drones, taking humanity out the picture. We have to re-educate. But let's get into the video.
Part 1. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save the village. Part 2. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save New York. Long COVID Stories 3. Part 3. King Joshua and Grandma Tam goes to China.
It's mandatory to get part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this series. It's time to re-educate Generation Z.